All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Howdy, y'all. My name's Mike. I live in Houston, Texas. And recently I hit 10,000 subscribers. Yay. Thank you guys so much for giving a damn about what I have to say. And I really appreciate it. I've had this channel going for about 7-8 months, I'd say, since I've been doing videos on here. And easily the number one question I get asked the most, by far, is what do I do for a living? Because I hint at my job several times. I've been thinking about just coming out and saying it because people are starting to get crazy. I've had people ask if I was in the Secret Service or if I was like a hitman or, I don't know, a legal gambler. I don't know. I thought in celebration of the 10,000 subscribers that I would finally do a job reveal. It's against policy where I work to say exactly where I work, but I will say that I am a police officer in the great state of Texas. So I spent about a year and 9 months as a civilian detention officer. So I worked in a local county jail while going through a police academy. 2015, I became sworn. So I've been a sworn peace officer since then. I spent almost exactly 4 years on patrol as a patrol deputy. So the guys you see on TV making arrests, responding to calls, stuff like that. And then in July of 2019, I got promoted to crime scene investigator. Now my duties include, I'm not on the streets anymore, but I now investigate suspicious deaths, violent crimes, and homicides, and things of that nature. I thought, what could I react to or give my insight into with this new knowledge that I've now just divulged to everybody? And so I thought, since almost all of my videos, I think every one almost, is based on the United Kingdom. And so I thought it could be interesting to react to the differences between how things are in the US versus the UK. But anyways, I got to stay true to who I am, though. Just because I'm a cop doesn't mean I don't drink beer. Matter of fact, I would wager that cops probably drink more beer than anybody else. But today I'm drinking a Shiner Bock. So if you got a beer, get yours and drink them with me. Cheers. Super quick before we start this video, just want to give a real quick shout out to the Drunk Texan Says members. Thank you guys so much for helping out the channel. But anyways, let's get into this video.
Whatever we might think about the police, one thing that's certain is that we are fascinated by them. As early as the 50s, the police crime drama started filling our TV screens, and long before that, Arthur Conan Doyle and Edgar Allan Poe planted the seeds for the genre of detective fiction. The good cop, the bad cop, or even the rebel with a cause cop kind of shows in the 70s have evolved into more realistic series such as The Wire, which give us a more nuanced version of police work and those that do it. In real life, dashcam footage from police vehicles has also become a staple in the online content we consume. Today we are going to
There's some good stuff on the dash cams, and the body cams are even more interesting. Man, there's some stuff I wish to God I could have put on a YouTube channel that I saw. I always say in law enforcement, you know, if people say, what do? I say, I got a front row seat to the greatest show on earth.
Concentrate on real-life cops, and perhaps the two most famous, sometimes infamous police forces in the world, in this episode of the infographic show, American Cops versus British Cops. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. Prior to what we consider an actual police force, the ancients had many ways to police the polis, or city. Slaves in ancient Greece would handle the rowdy crowds when tempers flared, while the Romans might set the Praetorian Guard on out-of-control rioters. Through the ages, there have been myriad ways to maintain public order, and also some pretty gruesome punishments for those that breach the accepted rules. In the UK, it wasn't until 1749 when a judge named Henry Fielding created what was called the Bow Street Runners, the first time Britain had anything what we can associate with today's police force. As British cities grew at a rapid pace under the industrial
Bow Street Runners. I've never heard of that. But I do know in the United States we are taught that what we now accept as our police force is founded and based on what happened in the United Kingdom. Robert Peel was kind of, at least in the United States, in my police academy, we were taught that Robert Peel was the one who founded and created the first kind of police force. And I remember the police officers were known as bobbies. I think that's what they were called.
Industrial Revolution, so did crime. And so on September 29, 1829, the Metropolitan Police Service was formed in London, and it is said to be the first modern police force ever created. The man behind it, Sir Robert Peel, explained why England needed cops. "I want to teach people that liberty does not consist in having your house robbed by organized gangs of thieves and in leaving the principal streets of London in the nightly possession of drunken women and vagabonds." Why were they nicknamed Bobbies? Well, after their founder, Robert. As you know, the USA was noted for its Wild West outlaws. One of those was Billy the Kid, who was shot by Sheriff Pat Garrett in 1881. Like Britain, America had ways to control crime, but for a long time there was no formal police force, and so the job of keeping folks in line often went to private contractors such as the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Systems including night watchmen, and even what some called goons for hire, weren't workable as the USA grew in population. It's thought that the first American formal police force was created in Boston in 1838, New York City followed in 1845, and by the 1880s, just about all American cities had an organized police force. Now that we know something about—
That's really crazy to think about too, that because everyone watching this video, anyone alive on the planet has had law enforcement existing in their entire lifetimes, but it's weird to think that in the grand scheme of the history of the world, the 1880s is not that long ago. 140 years ago? I mean, it's weird to think 200 years ago there wasn't any kind of real police force, you know?
About the history of these two countries' police forces, let's look at the present day. The number of police officers in just England and Wales has decreased significantly in the last decade, which has become a major political issue in the UK. The number in 2016 of officers in the force was 124,066, down from 143,769 7 years before that. The number of full-time officers working in Scotland in 2016 was 17,242, and the number in Northern Ireland was 6,773. That's a total of 148,081 police officers working all over the United Kingdom. The population of the UK is 65.64 million, so roughly there is one police officer for every 448 people. Much of the British media and the public are saying that is not enough, especially as the crime rate rise in the UK is rising faster than it has in a decade. This includes a rise in violent crimes.
I'm hoping the comment section isn't filled with just, you know, angry anti-police or pro-police, whatever. But I am curious, is that true? Is the general consensus over in the UK that there's not enough police, that they want more? Because, boy, let me tell you, it's the opposite here. It's the opposite. Let me know in the comments. I'm truly curious if, not necessarily, you know, I'm going to yell and argue if someone disagrees with me, but just in general, like, because I can tell you, even as a cop, in general, the public is not happy with us right now at all. So, for better or worse, I'm not going into all that, but the general consensus right now is people are not happy with the police, and they certainly do not want more right now.
And homicide. Over the pond in the USA, crime rates are much higher, and as some police departments are looking more like military units, the role of police in society has met with some controversy. Finding the actual number of sworn police officers working in the USA in 2016 isn't that easy. This is because figures given by the US Bureau of Justice Statistics haven't been updated in a few years. The total number of police agencies in the US is around 18,000, but that includes all branches of police. If we take just local police departments, that number is more like 15,500, according to PolitiFact. The old data that is often cited said that in 2008 there were 765,000 officers that had the power to make an arrest. The US Department of Justice gives the number of 750,340 for 2012. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, that number has shot up and is presently about 900,000. The US population is 323.
I gotta say, about 1 million is what I've been told, but to be honest, I've never looked it up. Another interesting fact about the 15,000 agencies honestly sounds a lot less than I would expect. I mean, in my local area, you know, it seems like every even kind of major city, even if it's a small city, has its own police department. And then a police department, a city will be located within a county, and then the county will be located within the state. And so usually a county has its own sheriff's office and its own constable's office. Constables dealing, at least where I live, constables typically deal with civil matters such as evictions, child custody issues, whereas the sheriff's office primarily runs the jail. That's their number one focus and priority, what they're required to do. But almost every county also has a sheriff's office, and they deal with criminal law. But I mean, as a cop, man, I was a therapist some days. I was a child disciplinarian, parent guardian counselor some days. Sometimes I was the police. Sometimes so I don't know. It seems like everywhere you go in the United States, different police agencies have different things. I guess I can see in a lot of the U.S. is rural. So like out in West Texas, they probably have a lot less officers per area than in a more city-like area like Houston, Dallas, or San Antonio, or something like that.
US population is 323.1 million, so that means that roughly there is one cop for every 359 people. One of the major differences is that in the USA, police carry guns, as do 36% of American households according to the Washington Post. It's reported that in 2016, 135 police officers died in the line of duty, with around half of those that died being fatally shot. The Guardian reports that the number of officers killed in the line of duty in the UK is a total of 11 since 2010, although many officers are assaulted in the UK. In 2015, it was reported that 23,000 assaults occurred against officers in just England and Wales. In 2017, the Police Federation of England and Wales reported this figure to be not even close to the real number. It said there were 2.4 million assaults in 2016, meaning an officer was attacked every 13 seconds that year. 300,000 of them involved attacks with deadly weapons. The report said the average police officer is assaulted 19 times a year. On the other hand, in the USA in 2016, police officers killed a total of 1,093 people. According to Inquest.org, in the UK in 2016, a total of 5 people were shot and killed by police. The total number of people shot and killed in the UK since 1990 is 67. We should add here that regular cops in the UK don't carry guns, but armed police can be called when it's thought guns are needed. Police in Northern Ireland are different, routinely carrying firearms. According to the newspaper The Mirror, in 2016 there were 1,863,524 legally owned guns in Wales and England, most of which were shotguns. It's thought there are another 277,000 guns in Scotland and a further 150,000 legally owned guns in Northern Ireland. The same newspaper said there were another 2 million illegally owned guns on the UK streets, which has raised the question if the UK police should be given firearms. The murder rate per capita in the US is still 30 times higher than in the UK, which might not be surprising considering there are more guns than people in the country, according to the Washington Post. As for assaults on officers, there were 51,548 assaults against US police officers in 2015, with a total of 14,453 injuries sustained. With this in mind,
I'm honestly not even going to touch the deaths issue on this video because that's not what this video is about. Hopefully the comments don't get too heated on that topic. That is curious to hear the amount of assaults on police officers in the UK, but I guess in the US, it's, guns have a way of helping you respect the people around you, I guess. When you see a police officer in body armor and knowing they have at least one gun at a minimum, I guess you're less likely to want to assault them. But I don't know, that's interesting stat, but obviously the UK deaths and stuff are much lower, so.
how does life on the job compare between the two forces, and how do you even get a job as a police officer? In the UK, you can join when you are 18. There are no restrictions on height, but the force does ask you to be in good enough physical and mental shape to undertake police duties. No formal qualifications are required, but you will need to pass some tests to get in. Pass them, and you are in, just as long as you haven't committed any serious offenses in the past. It's similar in the US, although the police force does usually ask for a high school diploma, and that you are either 18 or 21, depending on the department.
There's also quite a few agencies like the Houston Police Department, which I do not work for, but the Houston Police Department for a while, I don't know if this is still the case, but you actually had to have a bachelor's degree just to apply for their police academy. But they're such a large agency, and they're such a good paying agency and stuff that they can afford to be a little pickier. But smaller agencies will have more lax minimum requirements because they need bodies.
Train at a police academy and have either a clean criminal record or have only committed minor offenses. There is no minimum or maximum height or weight limit, but in the academy you'll have to pass certain physical agility tests. Nowhere does it state you have to enjoy eating donuts. Wages vary, but in England, Wales...
See, my guard was down. I didn't think there was any donut jokes coming. But I will say this. I think that asking if you like donuts should be part of the psychological exam. Because people say cops like donuts, but really it's just that human beings like donuts. I feel like if you don't like donuts, there's something wrong with you.
In Northern Ireland, you can expect to start your career as a police constable on anything from $25,000 to $30,000. If you work hard, UK career websites say that within about 7 years, that wage can be $48,872. You should work a 40-hour week, although police work can often mean overtime and also emergency callouts. You'll get 23 days annual leave and also full sick pay. The pension varies depending on time worked, but the average police pension in the UK is thought to be around $20,465 a year, and the normal retirement age is 60. In the US, salaries differ from state to state, but a rookie cop
Yeah, that's I'm sure that he's about to give the number, but that seems pretty low. I know when I started, and also when he said works hard, I think they're talking about promoting. There's no, at least not in the US, you don't get a raise or any kind of benefit for, how many tickets you write or how many arrests you make or anything like that. There's no quota. I mean, what I will say is when it comes to promotion boards, they just look at, are you working? Because unfortunately, in law enforcement, you can get paid the exact same to go sit in a parking lot and sit on your phone on Facebook or freaking TikTok, or you can go out and actually, enforce crimes, look for drunk drivers, look for people with warrants and stuff like that. And both of those officers will make the exact same amount of money. So and based on seniority, you do get like every so many years you get a raise. But when they say works hard, that's what I think they're referring to is promoting.
Working in the NYPD can expect to earn $46,288 per year. After 5.5 years, this could rise to $90,829 if you have done well. Other states have average.
Again, if you've done well, that's promoting. I mean, you get small stipends for years of service, but I would say 90,000 is probably what a sergeant with a little bit of seniority would make at my agency. The 46,000 starting off for the rookie salary I think that's a little bit higher than my agency because that's NYPD, New York Police Department. That's that's like the most famous police department ever. They're probably going to get a little more, but it's honestly not too far off. I think my agency starts off for brand new cops around 41 or 42,000.
Wages closer to $30,000 and others $70,000 according to career website Kron. You'll get 10 days paid vacation to start with, but after 5 years it will increase to 27 days. You'll also receive unlimited fully paid sick days, medical benefits, dental benefits, and optional retirement after 22 years on the force. Like the UK, you will work around 40.
I don't think that's right. I don't think you ever get unlimited sick time. I have a set number of sick time that I get, and when you use it, you lose it. So if not, it stores up in like a bank kind of. But I don't have unlimited sick time. No.
40 hours a week in shifts, but that might change with overtime. How much pension you receive can be affected by multiple factors, but various websites put the average police pension anywhere from $58,000 to $62,000. With money in mind, we'll end the show there. Where would you rather be a cop, the UK or the US?
Okay, so that was kind of interesting, but I gotta say the numbers I was not aware of, but the history on how police started, we were taught. I was aware of Mr. Peel. In the US, we're taught, that we're following the UK's police model, essentially. We give y'all credit where it's due. I always say this, it's just my spiel I always say at every video, but I feel like I'm kind of rolling the dice on this video a little bit, so if you did like this video, comment if you'd be interested. This video is kind of a shift for what I normally do. I normally try to make just fun, lighthearted videos. I was trying to think of what I could do to celebrate 10,000 subscribers, and I thought revealing my job could be a good way to kind of say thank you, since everyone is always asking me all the time what I do. I thought it'd be a way to, at least I won't get asked that question as often. If you guys would be curious of me doing police-themed videos in the future, let me know where you're from, and if this is something you found interesting, if you would be interested in hearing, maybe I can make videos in the future about some of my experiences. But anyways, yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, or the other videos I normally make, more lighthearted, fun, drinking videos, feel free to subscribe, and I post a video once a week. But anyways, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe.